guys, this is Alex with AndroidMeter, and here we have the LG Optimus G Pro. Let's go ahead and get into it. Start it up. On this phone, the lock button is on the right side of the phone instead of the top, just because it is definitely that phablet size with its 5.5-inch screen. And then on the left side, you have your quick button that is programmable. You have your volume rockers in about the middle, and your home button, which actually has a nice LED notification ring around it. And as it gets started, we can actually see the side buttons. Okay, and then you have your menu button on the right, the back button on the left, 2-megapixel front-facing camera. You have your 13-megapixel camera in the rear with the speaker and LED flash. This is the AT&T model. And as we get into it, okay, I really liked using this phone for the time that I had it. It definitely brought me back to things that I used to like a lot in Android, and LG's sort of skin that they have on Android is actually really nice on this phone. One of my favorite parts is because it has the IR blaster, it actually comes with a quick remote app. It actually works fantastically. It's fully programmable. I'm sure that there's other things that you can find more in-depth on this application, but it definitely works really well with this phone, and it gives you a nice feel as a phone for a remote for your living room or bedroom. All right, and then let's go to the camera. All right, so the 13-megapixel photos that it takes do take up quite a bit of space for your memory, but it has up to 64 gigabytes of space for the SD card, so that's really convenient, as well as the onboard memory option. And then we can go in some of the options. This is time catch shot, which is like a multi-shot on a DSLR. One of my favorite settings is the cheese shutter. That's just kind of fun. And basically what it is, you can set up different words, cheese, smile, whiskey, different things of that nature. And then when you say it, say cheese, it actually takes the photo based off your voice, and it goes directly in your gallery. So that's one thing that's pretty cool. And because it had the time capture shot, it took 5 of the same photo because I didn't move. Finally, it has all your basics. The Play Store works well. On this model, there are still several apps that don't work 100%, and that's just because they don't support it, but it's still good to go. So in LG's notification center, they have everything that you could need. They have how to use the quick memo option, which this quick button that I said earlier was programmable. I have programmed to the remote because I was actually using it quite frequently in my living room. But it can also be used for quick memo, and that will take you to... Okay, sorry about that. So, quick memo. I scrolled over here. This is where I ended up putting it. But quick memo, you could actually take a screenshot, but without that, you can just write over the screen, which is nice, and then you can save it, make fun pictures. But you can have that toggle from the side as well, and all the connectivity for this phone is very nice. The NFC works well. The GPS catches very quickly. The Bluetooth connectivity is really responsive. I was using it with the Jambox, and it switched through songs a lot faster than my iPhone did, so that was really convenient and nice for group events where I'm actually using a Bluetooth speaker. The phone app is pretty standard, but sometimes we do forget that these are still phones and we don't even look at the phone, so this is what the phone looks like. Nothing really exciting, but either way, a bunch of random people trying to call me. Okay, and then you have your favorites, your groups, your contacts. And then the dialer, if it wants to go to the dialer, it's not set up for the AT&T contacts. But the dialer, it actually has, if I had contacts in here, it has the autocomplete option. You can set it directly to vibrate from the dialer, the basics. And then, so let's get in more to the back of the hardware. If we take the back off of this phone, which it's actually really nice, though I did not drop the phone because I don't drop my phones. It seems relatively sturdy. It does have the option for a different backplate to have the capacitive charging from the QI chargers if you already own one or if you're interested in purchasing one. It also has the back plate with the flip cover, which we actually have in the box. I'll grab that in a minute. I didn't really use it just because flipping it around every time I wanted to send a text message was cumbersome to me. It has a 3100 milliamp hour battery. The battery life on this is astounding. I used it all day while I was still using my iPhone, and it outperformed in battery life every single time. Got your SIM card slot, have the gold connectors for the capacitive back, your SD slot, your SIM slot, which is actually in the bottom of the phone with the micro USB charging port. And that's basically that. And then actually, before I pop this back on, I'll go ahead and grab the other back out of this case. Meep. Okay. And then while I'm in here, you have the standard charger, black phone, black charger. The USB's on top, USB cable. All the nifty little instructions and things that nobody actually reads. Okay, then we bring this out. And the phone actually recognizes with this, once you put it on, the phone actually recognizes that will lock the phone. So because it is this 5.5-inch screen, though it does fit well in your hand, it definitely feels like a larger-than-life phone. It's definitely in that phablet range where it's too small to be a tablet, but too big to be just a normal phone. So it does recognize that will lock it, and because the notification LED is around the home button, you can still see that, and that's why that has the hole there. But just flipping it around wasn't really something that I found comfortable. Other than that, it's a nice way to protect the screen while you have it on, and it's something that definitely makes it feel more like a notepad. To compare, this is similar size to the Galaxy Note 2. All right, and we're back in. Then we go down. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the multitasking. I don't have any applications open right now, so let's actually open a couple things so that you can actually get the full effect. I do prefer Google Chrome to this internet browser, and that's simply because I've always used Google Chrome. I have it synced with my desktop, and it's something that's very convenient. All right, so in here you can just swipe the apps out. Several of the phones have this multitasking option, but I just think that it's a nice thing to show. Then from there you can also get to Google Now by hitting the center Google logo. Google AndroidMeter. Or just Android, that's fine. So it's pretty responsive. It's definitely usually more responsive than a couple other phones that I've used with this, and it's more responsive than Siri, in my opinion. I don't have several screens, but that's what it looks like when you only have one. But ooh. And then I'm going to go ahead and talk about the top of the phone just real quick. That is where the headphone jack is and the IR blaster. You do have the mic on top and bottom. That is just for noise cancellation, the one on top, which it definitely helps with phone calls. The phone calls on this are actually quite nice. I made quite a few of them, more phone calls than I normally would, just to test out the phone quality, because I do like to see what the phone can do. I don't care. So yeah, I'm going to just show the keyboard. This is the LG keyboard. It does have like the swipe feature. Oh, there's me. It does have the swipe feature, so it does work well. I don't know if the setting is set up, but because this phone is so large, you can actually go ahead and make the keys come over to one side of the screen, which is nice. It definitely allows you to be able to text with one hand, which you can't normally do with this phone. And then screenshot capability, that's actually really convenient for how you're automatically holding the phone. So where they put these keys was a fantastic choice, because if you want that quick toggle button, you're going to be able to just hit that key with your finger. But in other situations, if you want volume, you have your middle finger on it, and if you want to lock the phone, you have your thumb on it. So to take a screenshot, it's just the bottom volume key in the side. Hold it for a second. Got a screenshot. It's in our gallery. And then finally, we're going to go into the settings of this phone, see what we're running. So LG's skin on Android actually looks really nice. You have the nice toggles for airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile data. And then as you go through, it separates for sound. It does have a really cool option, which is smart ringtone. So if the phone is in your pocket, it will ring louder than you have it set so that you can actually hear it. So you can set it for a volume that would be on the table if you always keep your phone out. And then when you put it in your pocket, it rings louder so you can actually hear. You can go into your volumes to get your volumes for your ringtone, your notifications, your touch feedback, and your music. Display is a separated option for it, which, because this display is so massive, you definitely understand why it's a separate option. I have that auto brightness on. screen timeout, the rotation. The smart screen is a feature that's quite like the Galaxy S4 that stays on while you're looking at the screen. It has the pausing for the smart video when you look away. The home button LED, which, like I said, is one of the most mystical parts for me. Home screen, lock screen, and then general. So when we look at the battery life, it only has 17%, but this is after 2 days of using this phone. So it has a quad-core 1.7 Snapdragon 600 processor and a 5.5-inch full 1080 HD screen. So when you put those two things together, you would expect, or at least I would expect, not to get the best battery life in the world just because you're using so much power there. But with the 3100 milliamp hour battery, it definitely does its job quite well. So when we get down into about phone, and then software, no, wrong button. Where is it saying in here? It doesn't say the model. Oh, software information. Found it. Okay, sorry. It's currently running Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean. If we go in, Bean, die, Bean, die. How do I make you die? Haha, flick, 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 flick. Anyway, so we have all those fun things still. We have the base kernel with the 4.1.2 is what it ships with. It does not yet update to 4.2.2, and I'm not sure the amount of time that will take until it does. So battery use, just so we could again see the battery. And this is over a few days. Obviously, I sleep here. And then the decline is not that intense, so that's always good. Back out of all these, go into the networks. The only issue I really had with this phone was that, screen cap. Yeah, go away. So in the notifications, you just swipe things away, which is fun. But, oh, no, don't give me quick memo. Anyway, the only problems that I really had is I never used the Q-Slide apps. I know that there's a way to shut them off, and I just never bothered finding it because you can just edit through them. I never use them, and it takes up space. I didn't really mind because the screen's so large, but that's just one thing that I don't really use, so I don't need to see. It's probably in the display settings somewhere, but I didn't even look. And finally, I think one of the biggest things that I expected to have an issue with was the size of the phone, but it did actually fit very well in my pocket. I enjoyed having it in my pocket. It wasn't cumbersome at all. It was something that I really enjoyed carrying around on a day-to-day basis and using as my primary phone. It actually incentivized me to go back to Android. I went back to your guys' dark side. But finally coming back to Android through this phone, it definitely gave me a fantastic user experience, and it was everything I wanted from a phone. If it was on Verizon, this is what I would have ended up getting. Sadly, it wasn't, and I didn't, but that's about all I got for you. For more reviews, go on over to AndroidMeter.com, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, do all those social media things that you guys like to do. This is Crupi from AndroidMeter. Yeah, that's about it.